Okay, so we are at 3 minutes after the top of the hour, so we'll go ahead and kick off. Welcome everyone to the E&T All-Staff Virtual Meeting for the month of February, if you can believe it. Couple updates for you all. Oh goodness, I don't know why that is. Garbled, but the most important thing for you to know about chatting your questions this morning is that usually we have you chat your questions to Steve Wang, but this morning you'll do so to Eric Liu. So if you have any questions for the Q&A portion at the end of the session, please chat those questions to Eric Liu before 10:30 in the morning. And then as always, we have muted everyone so that we can get a nice quiet recording for those of our colleagues who can't join us live. And then please be aware of your video feed and indeed have that on if you want to, show your smiling face with us this morning. We love that. And then have it off if that's not conducive to your current environment. All right, so the next thing is information to keep you updated. So we have the E&T intranet site with the latest and greatest information for you, different employee COVID resources, campus news and happenings as well. Then we have the transportation.ucla.edu website with any and all E&T operational updates. And then lastly, we have UCLA campus-wide COVID-19 updates at the hyperlinked site here below. And so as always, this recording and the PowerPoint with the active hyperlinks will be sent out in a E&T news bulletin later on this week for anyone who couldn't join us live, or if you want to refer to it at another time. So again, just please remember to chat any questions that you have to Eric Liu before 10:30 a.m. And without further ado, I'll turn over our meeting to Renee Fortier, our Executive Director.
Thank you, Gina. Good morning, everyone. I hope you're all doing well. There's a lot to cover today. First, we're going to give operational and organizational updates and then answer your questions, as Gina mentioned. So as you might be aware, UCLA is transitioning all non-represented policy covered staff and managers into new career tracks job titles as part of the UC system-wide effort to attract and retain top talent. Career tracks will provide classifications and titles that better reflect our work responsibilities consistent with system-wide standards and will offer employees better defined career paths. Policy covered staff who have not discussed their career tracks classification with their supervisors are encouraged to do so. If you have not heard already, we're planning on returning to campus this year. Yes, this year, not soon. It's not going to be immediately, and it's going to take a lot of planning and conversations to get to that point. But UCLA is expecting to reopen our campus by the fall. There's still a long road ahead for us with the vaccine rollout, but over the next few months, we'll be discussing staggered hybrid work schedules for our E&T units. Some of us will continue working on site while others may telecommute some days and be on site other days. In an effort to maintain a reduced campus density, support employee work-life balance, and avoid excess parking demand beyond our capacity to meet it, each unit will be making plans for our collective return to campus that will further these goals while meeting customer needs. UCLA's COVID-19 Response and Recovery Task Force is going to be hosting another town hall, and that is today at noon. So tune in if you can. So those are my updates for today, and I'm now going to pass it off to Veronica Martinez of E&T Central Administration. Thank you.
Thank you, Renee. All right, Veronica, you're all set.
Thanks, Renee. Hi, everyone. Hope you and your loved ones are doing well. Just a few updates. Effective February 8th, due to the decrease in positive cases, on-campus COVID-19 testing has returned to once per week for those of you who come to work at campus locations at least once per week. The 3 locations remain Collins Court in the Wooden Center, the Covell Grand Horizon Ballroom in Covell Commons, or Switzer Plaza located in South Campus. There is also the UCLA mobile testing bus. Emails continue to be sent from Summer Bio and contain a link personalized to each recipient. Frequently asked questions regarding COVID-19 testing, as well as information about the mobile testing bus, can be found at the Ash Center website through the link on your screen and on the E&T intranet. A reminder regarding the symptom monitoring survey: if you are reporting to work at least once per week, you are required to complete the survey prior to beginning your shift. Although emails are sent daily, you only need to complete the survey on the days you report to work. Based on your responses, the system will let you know your status. If you are cleared to work, please take a screenshot on your smartphone. That way you can share it with your supervisor if you need to. If you are not cleared to report to work, follow the instructions provided and notify your supervisor. If you are not receiving an email reminder, please register at the Brew and Safe online site. The UC Paid Administrative Leave, also known as UC PAL, remains available for specific COVID-related reasons. The one-time allotment of 128 hours or 16 days has not changed, and the last day to use this time is through June 30th, 2021. If you are in need of a leave of absence for yourself or to care for a family member with a serious health condition, please speak with your supervisor and they will provide you resources. Robin Bell is up next with training and organizational development updates.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Nice to see all of you guys. So let's just jump right in and talk about what's going on in training and organizational development. So this year for organizational development, we are focusing on continuous process improvement. And the good news is the Metrics Council is in motion. Members from each unit of the department are partnering together to create meaningful metrics for each unit based on the 4 administration goals, the annual strategic initiatives, and visually managing those throughout the department. The E&T change agents are underway. The team meets on a monthly basis to identify and discuss process improvements to help meet the demands of the organization, employees, and our customers. As I mentioned at the last staff meeting, we will be focusing on customer satisfaction survey results. Once customer satisfaction survey results are in, teams will be contacted from bottom-up driven process improvement efforts with customer service goal setting, brainstorming, and action planning. So stay tuned for more to come. All right, I'm pleased to announce that we are in the final stages of confirming our 2021 Talent Development Initiative cohort. We have a lot of exciting things planned for the upcoming year, which will enhance knowledge of the organization, offering networking opportunities, and developing their professional and leadership development skills. So we'll be announcing the cohort probably at our very next meeting, so stay tuned for that as well. Now we're also partnering with Unix for the computer literacy program for our frontline staff. The program will be rolling out in March and conclude in June. At the end of the series, employees will be able to navigate programs such as Outlook Essentials, Microsoft Office and Google Workspace, and applications for online learning. So more to come there. All right, so we've added something new to our training library, which is called Communicating Across the Digital Divide, which focuses on how to best communicate with our customers, specifically in regards to email etiquette. Employees will learn tips and tools to effectively communicate to our customers in a clear, concise, and customer-friendly tone. I also wanted to remind you that managing remotely in the new normal can be found on the intranet in the training library. So if you haven't had a chance to listen to the 7-part series, don't miss out. These micro trainings will provide you with valuable information and resources to ensure we are supporting each other and our customers. So now let's talk about the stars of the month. I'd like to announce our Employee of the Month recipients. We have Rita Pollard, who is representing Fleet and Transit Administration. Bravo to you, Rita. And we also have Abdul Faye representing Medical Operations. So you guys have done an outstanding job and have made our organization proud. So thank you for all that you do, and virtual high five. So now I'm going to hand the presentation over to Lauren Burgell from Integrated Marketing and Communications.
So aloha, good morning, everyone. Thanks for bearing with us. So I'm going to give you a couple quick updates on IMC. So as far as internal and employee communications, we wanted to say thank you for those who responded to the virtual event survey. We wanted to get feedback from you guys to kind of figure out what's working well with these virtual events, maybe some suggestions you might have. So we got a lot of good feedback from that. So we will be incorporating that into the events moving forward, as virtual events are probably going to be a thing for a long time to come. Whether or not we're back on campus working hybrid, we will do this so that everyone can get the same information. Speaking of which, we are going to get TV screens installed in some of the operational areas that don't have them yet, just to make sure that all of our frontline staff are getting the same communications that everyone else receives via email. So look for those so we can make sure everybody is informed. We also sent out an update in a recent E&T news bulletin that we have recently migrated the transportation blog. So the Be a Green Commuter blog that was hosted on its own website is now hosted on the UCLA transportation website. So it's gotten a makeover, and it will be kind of published to the rest of the UCLA community in the next week or so, but wanted to give you guys a heads up that that was happening so you can check it out when you can. We're also working on the state of the commute. So the 2020 report is going to be very different from previous years, since a lot of our transportation services and programs changed over the past year, and we've incorporated telecommuting as a huge commute mode. So look forward to getting a copy of the state of the commute emailed to you in the coming weeks, and we will get those published as well. We also got our safety banners finally installed in Westwood. Westwood basically asked us to create custom artwork for them for the village. And so if you happen to be driving or walking through the village, you'll see some familiar artwork that got installed there in the last couple of weeks. And we like to do a fun slideshow every month. So stick around at the end of this meeting, because we will have a slideshow featuring all the pictures you guys sent in of things that you love. And next month, we'll do something a little fun with March memes. We're basically coming up on a year of working remotely and hybrid. And so I think there's some pretty funny memes that have reached the world this past year. So send those into Robin for next month's slideshow. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to the operational team. C-Dub.
Thank you, Lauren. Good morning, team, and thanks for attending this month's all-staff meeting. I will be providing you with some project updates from the FS&A team related to Field Ops Room 130, the CRA office, commuter services area, and EV charging. These photos reflect what field operations looks like today. We're involved in an ongoing process to determine what items can be removed and or even repurposed. This area will eventually be cleared. Which brings us to our floor plan layout for the new FS&A offices. This depicts our current seating needs, and there will be more updates to come as we continue to move forward with this project. These photos represent the completion of the new CRA office setup. I should note that the CRA staff is truly impressed with their new suite, and the team is also looking forward to returning to the office. Upon our return, many of us enter through the lobby, and with that, you will notice an additional remodel update, which is the plexiglass that has been installed at our information counter. An initiative was to identify areas within a structure where electric vehicle charging portals are available, hence the mural you see here. The FS&A team assures the murals are strategically placed to notify the customer that they are in an EV charging stalls area. We currently have 306 EV ports throughout the campus. Level 1 chargers have been previously installed in various lots and structures. There is a combination of 306 level 1 and EV Go chargers currently in operation. Our goals are to increase EV charging stations on campus from 2% to 4%, which I think is something that's really cool. We're trying to push forward with trying to stay in compliance. We will be adding approximately 482 additional EV ports, which will total 788 ports throughout campus. The majority will be 110 volt level 1 outlets. And our last goal is we will be expanding the EV level 3 chargers at structure 8, on level 4. And with that, I'll turn it over to Mr. Jimmy Tran.
Thanks, Charles. So for my first update for mobility, planning, and traffic systems, I'd like to talk about our graduate student bike rentals. Now, you've heard about this update in the past few meetings, but I'd like to share that our operational teams, integrated marketing and communications, fleet and transit, and CNPS and assets have helped with tremendous efforts to bring this program live. And we brought an additional 40 bikes to University Village in early February. And this is in addition to the 48 bikes that we've launched at Weyburn Terrace in December. And since launch, we've seen over 300 total rentals across the two areas. So approximately more than 150 per area. And we've given out more than 200 helmets so far. And this is a great repurposing of our former Bruin Bike Share program to our graduate students to provide them more bike options, whether that's for eventual commuting and for recreation or fun. And so we're working now on addressing maintenance, but overall program is going really well. And we're just excited to provide more bike options for our students. Next slide. So what's next for our bike programs in 2021? In the spring, beginning May, we'll see virtual bike month. We began this in May 2020 with all virtual campaign for celebrating bicycling in the month of May. So in addition to doing that, we'll see the return of our bike recycling day in the spring, and it'll look a little different than past years. So instead of having an in-person event, most of it will be virtual, with the exception of picking up bikes for the bike recycling day. So we'll be providing more updates on this soon. And going towards the summer and fall, we're working with our vendor Lyft to bring e-bikes to the UCLA campus. And this will be similar to the existing scooter share program that's already on the campus. And with the fall quarter in the horizon, we'll hope to see the return of our very popular Earn a Bike program for eligible students and employees. So in 2021, whether we're encouraging biking for commuting, for fitness or fun, there's a lot of opportunities there. And that's why we're keeping biking at the forefront of sustainable transportation. Next slide. A project that coming soon is the resurfacing of Charles Young Drive West. And this is the stretch being resurfaced right by the Bruin Walk to the north of this image down to Strathmore. And I like to mention that this work is being paid for by facilities as part of their deferred maintenance funding. The work will be completed in March. Specifically, a bulk of the work will occur the week of March the 8th. Work will include the removal of the Bradley crosswalk, and the addition of bike and scooter shared lane markings. And while those aren't designated bike or scooter lanes, they do add visibility and enhance safety for scooter riders and bike riders. Next slide. In the effort to encourage more electric vehicle commuting and support EV infrastructure demand, we've began collaborating with our operational units. So you've heard great informational updates from Charles on the EV infrastructure. So we've been working with the units to develop a plan to provide a robust EV charging network. These efforts align with a multitude of efforts, including not only in our department and our sustainable transportation plan, but larger efforts at the UC level with the Sustainable Practices Plan, and even a recent governor's initiative to have all new passenger vehicles be zero emission by 2035. So it's a nice coalition of efforts to increase EV commuting and looking at EV infrastructure in the future. And this effort will also be a great tool for EV funding opportunities such as grants. Next slide. Last but not least, we've learned a lot about telecommuting at UCLA. And now you've already heard an update from Renee on telecommuting and the efforts for that in the fall. But I'll touch on a few things that we've learned with our work with the telecommuting work group. Mainly that telecommuting works well for employees who have been working remotely, with more than 90% of managers in a recent survey we conducted who manage telecommuting employees reporting that their staff has been as productive or more productive than expected. Now, while not all employees can conduct their work from home, we found helpful data through our efforts that will help inform decisions to enable telecommuting in a manner that addresses both office density and parking demand. Next slide. In a fall commuter survey we conducted in October 2020, we found that there was a sizable number of students and employees previously taking carpool, vanpool, and public transit who were hesitant to take these mode post-COVID. And they had planned to come to campus through driving. And through our survey estimate, this was approximately 3,000 commuters potentially shifting to driving to campus each day. And that's a big concern for us. And so while there is that commute mode shift, the implementation of how we implement telecommute scheduling in the fall will be a key solution to addressing this issue. Next slide. Overall, the implementation of hybrid scheduling will aim to spread telecommute days across the work week to avoid the bunching of telecommute days on Mondays and Fridays and avoid a midweek crunch of commuting drivers. Our efforts to enable a robust telecommuting program will allow for easier physical distancing and reduce demand for office and interior space. And those are my slides. I'd like to now hand it over to Jin Sawhill with Events Office.
Thanks, Jimmy. Good morning, everyone. In preparation for commencement and to keep the communication process ongoing with our campus colleagues, we've worked with Strategic Communication to create a commencement base camp discussion group so that approximately 150 commencement coordinators and affiliated staff from across the university can share information and ideas quickly and directly. This is an online communication forum specifically for UCLA commencement. Last month, I mentioned that we are fielding options for commencement. So we're exploring a drive-through or drive-by celebration both on and off campus. The on-campus proposal could potentially be located on Charles E. Young North between Lot 3 and Melnitz Hall, the Portola Plaza flagpole, or at Lot 36. The off-campus drive-through option would be in one of the parking lots at the Pasadena Rose Bowl. Another potential option, depending on LA County Department of Public Health protocols, is to have an in-person recognition ceremony with just the graduates and no attendance. Of course, our backup plan in case COVID protocols do not allow us to proceed with any of these options is to have the virtual celebration. In the coming months, we look forward to coordinating on whatever commencement options we are allowed so that we can create a memorable experience for our graduates. Thank you, and that is the update from the events office.
Thanks, Jinsao. So I'm going to turn it over to Tirza from
Hi.
Student Parking Services.
Thanks, Lauren, and good morning, everyone. So the hard work and dedication of the commuter and parking services staff continue to propel us forward during these ever-evolving times. And through our ongoing collaboration efforts, our team has continued to focus on business process improvements and bettering the customer experience while also serving the campus community. So today I'm going to cover some of our recent accomplishments and also highlight some of our upcoming projects. So first and foremost, our data analytics and strategic projects team, with help from other E&T and campus partners, is currently assisting the COVID-19 task force with campus vaccination planning. The CMPS Data Lab has been tasked with creating a campus population tracking dashboard, which will help identify how many on-site workers the campus currently has. Departments from across campus are providing employee data to the team, who are then carefully analyzing and formatting the data into tables, charts, and reports. This dashboard is being used by the COVID-19 task force and leadership within UCLA administration to make important data-driven decisions regarding vaccination rollout and phasing. The diligent work of this team has been crucial, and they are truly making a campus-wide impact. Staying in the spirit of campus-wide impacts, select members of the CMPS staff continue to serve in expanded roles via the Talent Match program and are serving the larger campus community through positions in both the ASH Center and the campus ITS group. Next slide, please. Our customer relationship management team continues to support our customers while in the remote environment. In addition, they have worked to identify and implement new business process improvements, such as updating and simplifying parking permit payroll deduction language and finding ways to maximize space management, such as temporarily enabling cross-parking privileges for medical students. They've also begun a new project to review and update parking permit privileges. In preparation for the upcoming fall quarter and the possible return of students to campus, CMPS administration is working to streamline the student hiring process. We are currently reviewing and updating all student job descriptions and transitioning the job applications from the E&T web-based form to Handshake, an online hiring platform. By making the switch, Commuter and Parking Services is aligning with the UCLA-wide standard for student hiring. We recently piloted the use of Handshake through the recruitment for a Data Lab junior assistant. The recruitment process went well, and we will be using feedback from the hiring managers to fine-tune our future recruitment process and the use of Handshake. Next slide, please. Employee engagement and development continues to be a main focus for our department. Influenced by the Fleet and Transit team, we recently held a telecommuting forum for all CMPS staff to discuss the benefits and difficulties of telecommuting and crowdsource solutions and best practices. The forum went great, and we will be looking to additional employee engagement events in the coming months to ensure our staff stay motivated and encouraged to be their best. The continued health and safety of our employees also remains extremely important. Our on-site staff at the Medical Valley operations have begun to receive the COVID vaccine. In addition to these vaccination efforts, use of facial coverings and 6 feet of physical distance, plus weekly COVID testing and daily symptom monitoring are all still required. Internal tracking of COVID-related exposures also ensures the safest environment for our staff. The teamwork and critical thinking of Commuter and Parking Services has made all of these achievements possible, and our nimble and efficient processes have allowed us to ebb and flow with the ever-changing environment that's around us. As we look to the future, we're eager to make continued improvements, which will positively impact the department, the campus community, and our customers. And that's all that I have, so I'm going to pass it now to Aisha from Fleet and Transit.
Thank you, Tirza. Good morning, everyone. Thank you to our E&T on-site staff for keeping operations running, ensuring a smooth transition into winter service with Bruin Bus and helping keep UCLA community safe. F&T operations continue to operate normally through winter. Bruin Access and Safe Ride are running via the on-demand app. The COVID mobile testing bus has resumed normal testing site frequency, offering testing for Bruins once a week in alignment with COVID testing directives. Visit the hyperlink on your screen for the schedule and more information. Face coverings are still a requirement when riding a Bruin bus. Buses continue to operate at no more than 50% capacity as an added safety precaution. The Fleet and Transit Parts Department continued to provide COVID-related PPE to all E&T on-site essential employees as needed. The parts department is also collaborating with university departments to assist with the procurement and ordering of hard-to-find disinfectant, sanitizing items, and equipment. Next slide, please. Here are a few examples of recently completed projects, as well as additional projects the teams are working on. Training will be completed in the first week of March for our Asset Works rollout of new modules. Our next step in the process is a billing overhaul, which will eliminate much of the month-end reconciliation feeding the campus accounting systems directly. This will greatly reduce our fleet employee workload. Fleet fuel automated monitoring is underway and has begun monitoring the fleet fuel tank levels as well as oil and other fluids. This was an efficiency upgrade to reduce administrative burden on employees manually monitoring levels on a daily basis, allowing fuel tank refills, to be automatically dispatched and replenished as needed. Transit Technology RFP has closed for bidders, and we're now in the review process of selecting a vendor to streamline efficiencies for Bruin bus operations. These upgrades will improve operational performance, measuring, scheduling, and dispatching applications to reduce application redundancy and variability. Next slide, please. Fleet and Transit continue to work on numerous different projects into the new year. Please be sure to check them out. Ensure you're signed up on the Talent Match site if you're interested, and contact your supervisor for more information. Next slide, please. There are some larger projects that are underway and we're nearing completion in the next few months, such as efforts continued on developing a feasibility study for retail fuel cells on campus, to also include a course of action on biofuels, E85, renewable diesel, unleaded fuel, and a complete fleet vehicle electric charging plan. Fleet accident sublet repairs RFP is planning to go live by the first week of March. This will streamline light duty and heavy duty vehicle repair efficiencies with third-party body shop vendors, reducing costs and improving communications between fleet, IRM, and various departments. Telematics system installation continues throughout the UCLA fleet. We are in the process of transitioning facilities management telematics into our university-wide system, which will allow us to improve and extend the overall health of the university vehicles by leveraging technology to monitor fault codes, engine hours, engine diagnostics, driving behaviors, location, and usage. The combined project of enhanced fleet management systems and the telematics rollout will be the key to our development of a UCLA motor pool program. That will conclude all of my updates. I now turn it back over to Lauren.
Thanks, Aisha. All right, so we will get into the Q&A section.
I did not receive any questions via chat.
No questions. That's got to be a record.
Well, we must have done a great job then.
Agreed. All the presenters did a wonderful job.
All right. Well, with that, then I will pull up our February slideshow so you guys can enjoy that. And thanks for the graphics team for getting this together. All right. Thanks, y'all. And thank you for putting up with our technical difficulties today. Stay tuned for an invite for the March employee meeting. And I believe we have a town hall at noon today. So don't forget to tune into that if you can.